Okay, hello everybody. I think we are live already, and if you're on, people will just kind of come in over time. I'm going straight to the to the group as opposed to. Oh, there you are. I see you. Okay, and welcome. We have an extra special guest today. As you can see, we have two guests. In other words. Jacob is the extra special guest, Nina, not Gina, not you. Okay, so yeah, people are just coming on. Hi, Senia, how are you? Let me get out my notes here, and I'm going to be looking for the most part at Zoom and put the notes over here, this over here. It's just very complicated. When you do it with Zoom, you have three things that you kind of need. You need your notes, and you need Facebook open, and you need Zoom open. So you just kind of have to deal with all three of those things. But that's okay. We get it done. So hi, Cherry Ann. Yes, Cherry Ann is our winner of the prize yesterday. Of our $25 Amazon gift certificate. So we're chatting back and forth as well. And nice to have you in here. And we're going to start in about a minute. How's it been going, Senia and Cherry? What has your experience been so far? Let me know in the comments. I just want to bring you up to date, Gina. So I sent you the notes for today, but we've had the first day, people opted into their own offer to see what was going on. And then people opted into each other's offers, and so people found problems like they couldn't get the offer or whatever, and they kind of evaluated how the process was. Was it welcoming? Was it easy? That kind of thing. And then on Tuesday, they looked at their existing autoresponders, saw how many they had, and they looked at their open and click rates. And so those 2 days were basically looking, hi Monique, those 2 days were basically looking at what exists now in terms of their opt-in and then the follow-up autoresponders. So yesterday, they went in and they listed the steps for new subscribers to get the freebie. We talked about single opt-in and double opt-in and where you deliver the freebie, whether that kind of thing. And so I recommended some specific steps, and then they listed their steps. And so we talked about how you could change it to make it more effective, to get, more engagement, get more people to be reading your emails and not lose people with double opt-in, all of that kind of stuff. So that was what we did today. And today we're going to talk about the autoresponders is the main topic. And I'm going to have a suggested list. I'm going to try to actually share my screen and show them to you. Otherwise, I'll read through them. But everybody will get them in a PDF. Everybody's going to get access to them. And this is just a suggested one. We had yesterday Cindy Bidar. It's kind of similar to what she does. It's also somewhat similar to what Connie Reagan Green does, who we had on Tuesday. So there are similarities, and you actually have a very different approach to them. And so we've been talking about how people disagree on this, and people have different ways of doing it. So I think it'll be good for people to hear your approach to autoresponders as well, and maybe look at the different times when different situations, when different types of systems or different, just a different sequence of autoresponders might work best. So, we're going to talk about that. Hey, Jacob.
He's being good right now. It's a lucky thing.
Yeah. So we're having some really interesting things. So Senia says, eyes opened, thanks, and totally rethinking my giveaways. Yeah. So, all of those types of things. People have definitely been rethinking their process and their giveaways, and today we're going to have them rethinking their autoresponders. And one of the ahas that came out yesterday was you're always working on your autoresponders. First of all, if people come up with new freebies, I definitely recommend having more than one. But then you have old ones that, you know, you have some new idea, and then you go back and you adjust old autoresponder series. One of the things we had them do is go into their autoresponders and copy and paste them with the subject line into one document so you can see the flow of it all together, because it ends up getting kind of hidden away in separate places and you just don't see them, you know, and you forget what's in them.
Yeah, I love the feature in Microsoft Word that lets you do a clickable table of contents, because I have headings that I click on and I make the subject of each email a heading. And so I can kind of see it just in the reviewer pane, navigation pane. And so I can see, you know, the sequence of emails, how many emails I've got. And it just helps me to see the whole big
That's
picture.
a really good idea. Do you use the table of contents feature to do that?
Yeah. You can just, as long as you have heading 1.
Right. Excellent. That's a really nice, a really nice tip. I haven't used it for that. I mean, I've used table of contents for ebooks. I put them in my ebooks, but that's a great idea. And it just lets you see the whole sequence and the structure and all of that. Excellent. Okay, so that was a ninja tip, guys. When you copy and paste your autoresponders into Microsoft Word, you go into the References tab, and then you choose Table of Contents. And if you set each subject as a heading 1, it'll automatically create a table of contents for you that will be a clickable link to each of your autoresponders, but you'll just be able at the top to see that whole structure of it right there.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. So, so we're trying to find Cheryl Burke, but hopefully she found it. Okay. So, I think she came in early and was looking for where I am. He's doing really well. I'm just trying to make little things for him so that he gets fascinated by the screen.
Oh, he loves technology.
Yeah, look, he's doing it.
He's mimicking it. He wants to be like Ellen.
Yeah, that's it. That is so cool.
He's a smart baby. He knows what's happening.
I'm sure he is. He's got smart parents. Okay, so we're more than halfway through. This is day 4 of the challenge. And I haven't formally introduced Gina yet, Gina Noel Decker. She's an expert in the whole opt-in process. Product launches is one of her specialties, and also getting your website affiliate ready. She's going to have an offer at the end for a course on that. So, yeah, but in that whole thing about launches, product launches, you're opting people in throughout this whole thing. So she's really become well-versed in that. And so I thought she'd really be good for this. So I'm really excited I want to commend everybody who's, still going through this process, because people have learned a lot and people are still coming in. So they kind of have some catch up to do. But if you go through the whole process, it's really systematic and it will really get you results, because the process of looking at your opt-ins and looking at your autoresponders, this is how you bring people into your business. And so it's just so crucial to create that relationship and then turn them into customers. So I keep on reminding people to take notes, even though I will give you a PDF of my notes, but you should point out what things, you think is an aha moment for you, or what is something that you really need to do, because everyone's in a different situation. Some people don't have any autoresponders, and some people have old ones. Some people are beginners, intermediate, advanced, and as we've been discussing, people have different email service providers. So just to repeat, on Monday you opted into your free offer. Tuesday you looked at your autoresponders. Yesterday you listed the steps for new subscribers to get your freebie. And today I'm going to give you my autoresponder series. The one I've found has worked really well for turning customers into fans and into customers. I have a lot to tell you. I'm not going to read you every word of everything. It's a series of 7 autoresponders. And you'll see that some of them won't apply to all situations. It'll just depend on your market and what you're offering, all of that kind of stuff. So I want you to remember the 3 steps of autoresponders. When you engage people, you try to get them to implement what's in the freebie, and then you make an offer. And that's and you'll see how I use these here. So first, I wanted to tell you there have been some questions about GDPR because we were talking about double opt-in versus single opt-in. So I have, I'm going to send you in the follow-up email a link to my notes from an hour-long Facebook Live I did on the topic back in May, just before it went into effect, and I think it'll help you because I did a huge amount of research for myself, and it also has lots of links to other people who are, you know, more expert than I am about it as well, but I think that will help you. So I'm going to actually try to display my screen and show you my screen. So let's see if we can do this. And you're just gonna, guys, you're gonna have to let me know. Yeah, so Jean says, I love using headers in my documents. Help me see. Okay, excellent. So let me share my screen. And we're gonna, okay. So let me see if, I should be able to see pretty quickly if this works within a few seconds here. Yes, it's working. This is excellent. Okay. Good. So this is the document we're working on. And let me go back to the beginning here. And this is the first autoresponder. AR is autoresponder. Let me zoom this up a little bit so it's easier for you to see. Hopefully that'll be good. I think you might have the option to, yeah, you have the option to enlarge what you're seeing and make it full screen. So that should help. Maybe I can even make this 130. Okay, good. We're ready to go. Okay, so subject. In your first, the subject is really, really important because you want to get people to open it. And as you probably know from all email, the thing that's going to get people to open the email is the subject. That's what they see. So I highly recommend this code is you know, the code that I use somewhere, but whatever the code is for your email service provider, I highly recommend you put the person's first name in there. We talked yesterday about some people not even collecting first names, but if you collect their first name, the reason you do it is so that you can personalize emails. And putting it in the subject lets them see it right away. They just notice their name there. So this is what I like to say. Here's the guide or worksheet or training or system, whatever you requested, and then the name of it. So I might say, here's the guide you requested, the BEAR system for choosing the perfect image. So there are a whole bunch of things in here, okay? Besides their name, it kind of tells what it is, it's training or guide, whatever it is that they wanted. And then it says that you requested. You requested. It's really important that you say to them, you asked for this. This is the email that you asked for. So having the word you in there and requested in there is just really important. And then the name of it, because that's what they remember, because they requested it. They saw that on the opt-in page. So otherwise, if you just say, here's the guide you requested, they won't, what guide? What? So it's a little bit long. It can be a little bit long. And some email services cut it off, but you should try to put this in. And at least they'll probably see the beginning part of that. So you could say maybe something like, you requested, and then put the freebie name, something like that, and leave out the guide worksheet part. You know, here's freebie name that you requested, something like that. But really important, personalize it, tell them you requested it and that here it is and the name of it, okay? Let me know if you have any questions about that. Carol says the baby is so cute.
He's kind of like the mascot, you know.
Yes, he's our mascot today.
Cheers up, everyone.
So then I say hi, and I put their first name in it, and you all know how to do that. You made a great choice to request, and then the name of the freebie. People always like to have, there's actually been quite a bit of research done on this. They like to have their decision confirmed that they made a good decision. You might see when you buy something, like you buy a a weed whacker, and you open up the instructions and it says, you made a great choice to buy such and such brand weed whacker. It just confirms people, and it reduces returns. That's what the researchers show. So, and then you say this system or guide or training will enable you to, and then put the goal or the benefit that you talked about in your opt-in form. So go and relate it right away to why they asked for it, what they were hoping to get, and because they might have forgotten, and you just want to make that connection, sort of complete the circle for them. And then here's the link to download, view the freebie name. So remember, we've been talking about the fact that you tell them the only place they get the link is in this first autoresponder. They don't go directly to a delivery page. They go to a thank you page that tells them to look in their email. And the purpose for that is to get them used to opening your emails. It'll be less likely. It'll be more likely to be delivered, less likely to be considered spam. Your emails in general, if they go into this email and they look for it and they click on it. So it's to your advantage to send them to an email and have them click in the email, and that's where they get it. It gives you another chance to make an offer. We talked about it both on the thank you page and on the delivery page. You can make an offer, a related offer. And then you say, I encourage you to take the time to read or watch the guide or the training and implement the techniques, whatever you want to say about it. But I think it's really important that you kind of sound like you like you believe in your freebie. You know, that they're going to get something of it, that they really will, it's valuable for them to take the time to imbibe the knowledge that you're giving them. So this is one of my ninja tips that I talked about yesterday. Other than that, I've never revealed this anywhere, I don't think. It's an invention of my own. So replying, asking people to reply is not my own invention. A number of people do that. Connie Reagan Green is really big on that, for example. And she says something like, please click reply, tell me a little bit about yourself, what you're working on right now, something like that, and how you might use the content, because you want to start a conversation with them. So my addition is, if you mention that you would like my free bonus, you name it. You have to say, If you mention that you would like my free bonus, I'll send you, and you give the name of the bonus freebie. So the example I gave was, if you have a freebie that has 10 tips, change it to 8 tips and keep 2 aside. And then when they reply, you give them 2 more tips or whatever. You know, you can go from 10 to 12 or whatever it is. Just give them something additional. This was taken from something I did, which was this BEAR system for choosing the perfect image. And it's a system for choosing the right image for sales pages and social media and so on like that. And the free offer that I give is a list of 80 plus free image sites. And since people are always asking me for, where do I get free images? It's something valuable, and people are willing to click reply to get that. So it's something that's very related to it. So either more tips or, you know, something connected to it. So then you go back to your main freebie. In this case, the BEAR system for choosing the perfect image includes a free subscription to the Change the World Marketing newsletter. Obviously, you put your own thing in there. I'll send you the daily hot tip and resources for online entrepreneurs who want to make the world a better place. So this is kind of specific to me, but I didn't know how to put it without making it specific. It's really important that you remind them they're going to be getting emails because you want them to open them, and you want them to know why they should open them. Now, I told you yesterday when we were talking about GDPR that you're supposed to let people know in advance before they sign up if you're going to be giving them a newsletter, how often you're going to send them and what's in it. And so this is very similar to that text I have below the opt-in form. And I use the word daily hot tip as a code word for the fact that they're going to get a daily email. But it's a hot tip, and so that's a good thing. So I'm turning what some people might think is not a good thing into a good thing. You know, that's the way I'm handling that. And if yours is weekly, then just whatever it is. And I want them to think of the Change the World newsletter as a resources for online entrepreneurs who want to make the world a better place. That's kind of goes in line with my Change the World marketing newsletter. And even though A lot of the things I have in my newsletters are paid offers. That's a resource. And I also have free resources. So the word resources is kind of a catch-all. And then I have my close, Learn, Act, Succeed, and my name and so on like that. And then PS, I mentioned this yesterday. Keep an eye right here on your e-box, because tomorrow I'm going to tell you about a free resource you can use to discover more solutions for your online business concerns. So you want them to look for the next one, right? I remember Connie saying a lot of people just, they kind of scroll down and look at the PS. I'm not totally convinced about people really reading the PS and getting that far down. So if you don't feel people see that, put it up in the body of the email, absolutely, and find something else for the PS. I once did a kind of funny thing with my list about the PS, and I made them some major offer there, and I said, and then the next day I said in the body, not enough people are reading my PSs because you didn't see it. So go look at it this time. So sometimes in the body of my email, I'll say more in the PS to try to get them in the habit of looking down there. So are there any questions about the first? Yes, Carol, I will be sending a copy of this document. Absolutely. And by the way, you can do in most browsers Control and then the plus sign, and that will make everything in the browser bigger. So even if you can't expand the actual video to full screen, you should be able to make everything a little bit bigger. And I've already expanded this to 130. I can do 140. Okay. So that's number one. Number two. And then again, I put their name in. You'll see I have their name in there all the time. This is something I do for my broadcast emails as well. Another free resource plus how to get more out of freebie names. So I guess that should be a little closed bracket there, whatever. You put your own. When I put brackets in there, it means put your own thing in there. So thanks again for requesting freebie name. Before I go further, I have a video message for you about how Change the World Marketing Community can help you and why I started. It's an unusual story. It's under 2 minutes. Watch it here. I'm trying to counteract all their objections. I don't have time, why should I watch it? That kind of thing. But it was actually based on an idea that Connie Reagan-Green did, but she used an audio. And I like the idea of a video. It's really, the one I made is really short. And I made it generic. So my goal was to have one video message for all my freebies about Change the World Marketing. So I didn't have to make one for, each one. Just to make it easier on me. But it really helps people connect with you. We know that video does this. I do these in Zoom. You can use the free version of Zoom and record it. It's really easy. If you are uncomfortable about making live video, let me tell you that I do it 10 times and then choose one of them. So it's not easy for me either to get something where I'm not stuttering or stammering or rolling my eyes or whatever it is. So just keep on doing it until you get something that's acceptable. That's my ninja tip about that. So then you have, here's the link to the video. This actually has quite a lot of stuff in it. Then if you haven't read the freebie yet, here's the link to it. So they go back. A lot of people don't click on it the first time. So maybe the second, they just don't have time. They got distracted. So you give it to them again. And then what I do is I just tell them how to get the most out of it. So I make some suggested way to use it. So in this case, it was the Bear system to choose the perfect image. So take some time to pick a message or a topic and look at some images and evaluate them according to the Bear system. An easy way to start is at pixabay.com. So I give them a tip, some advice to get more out of it. And hopefully they'll appreciate that and start, delving into it a little bit more, because in order to do that, they have to know what the B and the A and the R and the E stand for, which is what's in the freebie. So then, remember I promised them I would tell them about another free resource. Well, all this is my blog. I just want you to know I have over 300 posts all about online, being an online entrepreneur. But if you have any significant number of blog posts, it is an amazing resource, and go out there and tell people about it. People often don't realize how much information is there, and, they just think about their latest one. So what I do is you're sure to find information that will help you earn money while you make the world a better place. Check it out. Here's the blog post. And then I tell them you can use Find Posts by category to find just what you need. I'd love to have you comment on one post that interests you right now. Again, I'm trying to engage them. I'm trying desperately to engage them. Do something. Take an action, you know. And then I have a bonus resource, and that's the Facebook group we're in right now, right? The Change the World Marketing Facebook group. So I do want people to join this. So ask them to, even if you don't have a group, ask them to friend you on Facebook or on LinkedIn or wherever, Twitter, wherever you want. I would say choose one thing, your favorite one where you are most, and ask them to connect with you on social media. Some people love to do this. Some people don't really care. But it's a good idea to do this. Again, P.S. Tomorrow I'm going to tell you about a resource too. And in this case, I said, help you use images to engage and persuade. So this is going to be my offer. Dun, 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 dun. But I'm talking, what you want to say here is the benefits. So a resource to, and in this case, like I said, help you use images to engage and persuade. Because the freebie is all about images, hopefully they want to know to use them, how to engage and persuade. Why did they get it in the first place, right? Okay. Yes.
He's excited about that.
So, okay. So Senior says, great idea, the video thing, thanks. Yeah, I think, you've seen it on sales pages, and you may have seen it when you signed up for a webinar, either beforehand or after you signed up, kind of welcoming you, something like that. I haven't seen I've seen very few people do this. And I think it'll give you a little advantage over other people. Okay, so third one, first name, regarding freebie name, this may be of value to you. So again, you want them to remember that you want to connect it to what they asked for. So the BEAR system for creating the perfect image, for choosing the perfect image. So regarding freebie name, this may be of value to you. So since you asked for freebie name, I know you're interested in benefits. So in this case, I know you're interested in choosing the perfect image to engage and persuade people. That would be the benefit. You can see that's what I put up here. So that's what I would put down here. So because you're a new subscriber, I'm happy to give you X dollars off my course, and then you put what it is, or whatever it is, your product. This course will show you how to, and so on like that. So in this case, my course is called PowerPoint for Marketing Graphics. It's actually a $197 course. This is actually a pretty big upsell, and I probably should have something a little bit lower price, but I don't have anything like that yet. So that's what I do. I give them $100 off, and hopefully they'll be happy with that. And here's, the discount code, and here's the URL of the sales page. I wanted to say something about this because you're a new subscriber. So what's the guy who wrote the book Influence? Oh, Cialdini. Remember, do you know who he is? Yeah, Robert, I think, Cialdini. So he wrote a book called Influence, which has been very influential, and it's about persuasion. And he talks about some of the research he did. He's a professor. He did research on it. And one of the stories was that they had some people lining up at a copier machine. This was done a long time ago. People don't line up at copier machines anymore. And somebody would come in and say, can I cut the line? And people would say no. And then he would have people go, can I go ahead of you because I need to make a copy? Well, obviously he needs to make a copy. It's a copier line. But when he said because, the person said because, people were more likely to say okay. So when you give people a reason, they're more likely to be persuaded. That's the point. So and so it's not just anything. It's not just that I'm trying to sell you stuff. I'm doing this because you're a new subscriber, and that's a special thing. So that gives a reason for it. And then if you have something like this, I also wrote a blog post about this. The blog post even includes a short training video excerpted from the course. I'd appreciate if you'd leave a comment there. So when you have a product, you should write a blog post that links to the product. It's just another way to lead people to the sales page. It's a way to talk in a less salesy way about the value of it, and then they can just go to the sales page and go, oh yeah, no, I know, now I know I want this. So it's an ideal thing for you to have this. I happen to have had this already for this course, and there's a little video in it where I tell them how to make in PowerPoint, how to make one of these blog quote things with a picture and a quote. So I have that. So, and then the bottom of the blog post links to the sales page. It's just another way to get them to the sales page, but they get some free training. Click reply if you have any questions about the freebie topic or any aspect of your business. Have you join the Change the World Marketing Facebook group again? It's a great resource. I hope you guys think so. P.S. Tomorrow, I'd like to tell you a little bit more about what Change the World Marketing is all about and how our community can help you. And again, it depends on your business and so on like that. So here, and again, this is something you may or may not have. Please listen to this training on freebie names. So this is training on the freebie. And it's something that it's almost like a freebie for the freebie. It's a 2-minute video, and it was in a blog post. So again, it was another thing. When you have a freebie, you should write a blog post about it. And at the bottom of the blog post, even have the opt-in form right there if you know how to embed it, or link to the opt-in form. I'm always asking them to comment. Let me know what questions you have. I'd greatly appreciate it. And then I talk about this group. Here's the link. That's it. So tomorrow, I've led them to my blog twice. So leading people to your blog just shows how much of an expert you are. And it shows that you're not always trying to sell things. You're educating people. It just gives people a good impression of you, both in terms of your expertise and the fact that you give, and you're trying to help people. And that's really important for people to create that relationship. So tomorrow I'm going to give you a list of tools that I use for my business and that I recommend for your business. So I mentioned this before. This one, in this case, was actually a fail, I think. It got almost no clicks. It got opens, but not clicks. And I'll tell you why in a minute. But in most cases, this could work. So these are the tools, resources and tools I recommend. And this is and again, I have the link for their freebie. Have you tried? And I give them a suggested activity. Let me know what you think. And then I remind them again about my bonus freebie. That was the list of free image sites. So I do that. And then I have a list of other resources too. So this is my resources link. It's basically, I tell them it's affiliate links. That's what it is. And the reason I think it didn't work in this case was because the people who signed up for this freebie were not necessarily interested in an internet business overall. They were interested in using images. So it was a mismatch for them, that kind of thing. So you need to find things, maybe I would just leave it out in this case. Maybe it just wasn't appropriate, something like that. So things need to be related, and you look at your stats to find that out. Thanks for the great work you're doing. So I kind of always like to say that, people are trying to change the world, trying to make it a better place. I want to appreciate them. And then tomorrow I have a discount and a bonus for you. So have you looked at this? Basically, I'm going through the course again. I'm making the same offer. Here's the discount, and here's the bonus. So this is a big deal. If you purchase it, send me your receipt and ask me for a bonus 20-minute one-on-one session to help with their related project. So in this case, look at some of the graphics you created using the BEAR system and what you learned in the course. I'll review them with you, make suggestions for making them more clear, powerful, and professional. So whatever it is, I'm offering them a 20-minute one-on-one session. So unless this is having you freak out, I will tell you that very few people take you up on this. But the people who do are really engaged and have a high potential for becoming your customers. So I just want you to know that, that kind of thing. Reply if you have any questions. And then tomorrow I'm going to tell you about a great way to get ongoing support to help you reach more people and grow your online business. So how will you use your, whatever they get, in my case, BEAR images, to increase your reach and income? So what I'm doing in this case is I'm connecting this freebie to my ultimate goal, which is to get people in my Reach the Stars Club membership program. So I'm trying to say, well, what are you going to do with those images? How are you going to use that for your business? So I hope you found this valuable. If you're looking to reach more people and increase your income, I'd like to introduce you to my membership program. I tell them what it includes. I tell them to check it out. I tell them the price, give them the link. I tell them to reply. And that is it. We are done. So can you see how, I engage them. I try to get them to reply. I have the video, all of this thing. I try to get them to implement it. And then I make offers. In this case, I make one offer twice. And then I make this offer for my membership at the end once. Okay. So any questions about this? Ellen, you are a fine mentor, Risa says. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. And Carol says, what a great idea to write a blog post for your freebie with a link to it. You were brilliant, Ellen Finkelstein. So let me tell you that I started doing, I'm going to stop sharing my screen now. Hi. I started writing blog posts a really, really long time ago. Maybe I started my first website in 1999, ellenfinkelstein.com. So by 2000, I was writing blog posts using HTML. I mean, it was just a long time ago. And at that time, what you did was you just wrote lots of content and it brought people there. And indeed, it did bring people there. But nowadays, you need to be a little bit, there's so much information out there. So you need to be a little bit more strategic. And blog posts should have a call to action. I didn't used to do that. So sometimes it can just be leave a comment and share. But as much as possible, it should lead to some kind of freebie or some kind of product. So yes, and Carol, what I want to tell you is that you can now, because I did this, go back, I actually had my VA do this, over your old blog posts and add links to things that you have. So just redo them. So I went through, what I did was I went through, I went into Google Analytics and I looked up my top 25 blog posts on my I have 3 blogs, my top 25. And I made a list of them. And then I put them in a spreadsheet. And then I had a call to action for each one of them. I picked something for each one of them. And I wrote some text for each one of them. And I gave it to my VA. And she added it to the bottom of each of those blog posts. So you can go back and do that. And, you'll get more opt-ins that way. And because, you might have your opt-in form on the right side of your blog post. But people kind of tend to ignore that. But if the content of your blog leads inexorably to something, then people are more likely to go there and get that. And it can be a product as well, not only a free opt-in. Okay, so I want to introduce Gina. So let me get down to that. Let's see. So Gina is a tech coach. She's the founder of techdoneforyou.com is her website. And her company provides done-for-you tech solutions so entrepreneurs can have the business of their dreams and focus on what they love without having to worry about their technology. She has, I guess you and others together have over 20 years of combined experience working with amazing clients and guiding them to achieve remarkable success. And so they help you take command of your system so you never have to worry about them again. So I just was working with somebody I said, this was Barb and Gracia, Gina, and she has a great product around copyright. And I write about that, fairly often because I write a lot about images and stuff, be careful, about the copyright. And I said to her, I could have a link to your freebie in a lot of different places. But I wanted an affiliate link. And she went, I have to go to Gina. And so Gina kind of gave her all the information. And I went, no, I was missing the login information. She said, I have to go to Gina. And she went back and Gina gave. So now I have this, I have an affiliate link for her her freebie, which if people buy something, then I could get a commission. So that just gives you an idea about how people rely on Gina. This just happened last week. So what lights up Gina about her work is that she gets to make a difference in the world, which here in Change the World Marketing, it's very congruent, and make technology easier for everyone involved. And what sets her apart from other service providers is that she's a technical writer, a strong communicator, with over 8 years in education and Toastmasters and a strong training background. She and I have talked about that. She's also very brilliant. She was the top graduate in this College of Liberal Arts where she went. She graduated summa cum laude with a BA in English writing and an MA in educational leadership from the University of Nevada at Reno. She's a creator of the best-selling technology series, Authors Who Rock, and featured in Devorah Lansky's virtual book tour Hall of Fame. She plays, look behind you. Can you see behind Gina? Can you see that that's a piano? She plays classical piano and has instructed private piano lessons for over 9 years. A recording of her video blogs, SEO, Hangouts, and piano performances can be found on YouTube. So one of the things that... So Gina and I met through JV Insider Circle, first online and then in person at their JVX conference. And we've known each other for several years. We've collaborated several times. Two areas that has been a real expert in is product launches and getting your business ready to work with affiliates. And from there, she's learned a lot about onboarding subscribers and customers, including autoresponders. So I know, Gina, you have your own AR series that's a little different from this, and we've been discussing there are a lot of opinions, and that's okay. So can you, did you, yeah, we know, we hear. Yes,
she's excited.
So I would love to hear what your approach is.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for having me. And I do have Jacob Henry here. He's 4 months old, and he is excited to talk about technology too. But I have kind of a non-traditional approach to my freebie because it's an e-course and it's kind of like an autoresponder in itself. Okay. And I developed it really just because I was an English major and I ran all of my autoresponders through my critique group. And even though they didn't know technology, they called me out on any jargon that was not, in their regular vocabulary. So that was very helpful. And so I wrote out my initial e-course, which is Get Your Website Ready for Affiliates Fast, because I was taking a lot of clients at that time who were doing just their first JV launch. And it wasn't a big launch. It was just they were using very simple technology, a plugin, and they were teaching a course online for the first time, and they just wanted a little bit of help from their partners promoting it. And so I was finding I was getting the same questions over and over and over again. How many pages do I need? How long is this going to take? What's involved? And so I just kind of took all of that knowledge and I put it into a course. And so I say, just kind of how you wrote out yours, I tell them right in the beginning, welcome to the course. And, over the next 3 days, you're going to get 4 modules. And so I kind of lay out to them what they're going to get. And I also let them skip ahead because sometimes even though I auto-drip these emails to them, they want to just read it all at once. And I was finding as I was putting this in giveaways and that I was, getting feedback, and I had a lot of good retention on this course, I noticed that, people just wanted to see all of them. And so I had a little dashboard, and it's the same dashboard that I use for my online courses. And I actually created it, very inexpensively with OptimizePress, those templates, but it's just a plugin for WordPress. And so, I've kind of developed it over the years and add little things, that kind of optimize it. But that's what I do. And so I recently, well, maybe not so recently because it's been in there for a while, but I worked with Rob Goyette, who was on the back end of Christian Michelson's, tech launches and things like that. I think he worked with Christian for probably 7 years, and then he has his own successful business now. But I've always heard him recommend when he's doing autoresponders, to kind of do this sequence, because I get this question a lot, like how many emails, like how should I space them? And so what he's always recommended is kind of, when you have somebody opt in, you give them an email on day 0 and then every other day, and then you can do once a week. And so I wrote out when I was on vacation, just, all of those emails. And they're not necessarily a hard sell, but they're tips. And it's interesting because I'll get people replying and saying, oh, wow, thank you for this information, because they're common questions that I get, and I just kind of organized it for them. And so I was literally on a road trip with my husband. Baby was a twinkle in our eye at that time. But, I had, just a notebook with me, and I wrote out the emails, and I went back to my computer and I typed them out. And so I have 14 emails total in this sequence. And usually in the PS, I'll have a soft upsell, or a way to kind of engage with us more. And a lot of times it's really just signing up for some time to talk to us or something like that. But
I'm sorry,
that's what I do.
A lot of times it's what?
Signing up for a discovery session to talk to us.
Yes.
Yes. So, and that's kind of actually my most common way of getting a new client. Usually just somebody refers to us. And so I was doing all these crazy, different marketing strategies. And once the baby came, that all went out the window. And so, this is the one thing that still works. And I actually didn't see a big decrease in my business, even after he was born, because, what works was still working. So
well, this is an important thing that I want to talk to people about, because your business is mainly a service business, as opposed to a product business. And I think that you're right, that you have to treat it slightly differently. And so some people who basically what they offer is coaching or a service like you're doing, that the discovery session is how they get a lot of their clients, and that is really their upsell. It's like it's a freebie to their freebie. Let's do this, and then you sell it on in that discovery session. That's where you sell your services, and that is an absolutely perfect way to do something like that when what you're offering is a service, because you don't have products so much. So my business is, I do some services, but it's mostly product oriented. And so I want to get people into products, that kind of thing. So, and in fact, my membership is a combination of the two, because I offer coaching in the membership program. But I'm still selling it as a product. So I want all of you to think about that, because Gail says he's better behaved than some of my friends.
He's such a happy baby. It's so funny. He smiles at everybody.
Hello. I don't know if you can think of me as a person while I'm on the thing.
I think you can. The research says that FaceTime works with babies.
Anyway, so I think that's really important. And I think the idea of doing an e-course as part of your autoresponders is also something that you can absolutely do. And then you advertise it as an e-course. And so they're getting this whole course, and that's very valuable as well. So that's just another approach to autoresponders as well, doing an e-course. Just make sure at some point you have some kind of offer, whether it's for a discovery thing or for an actual product. You want these to lead to something. And so you're not just giving out information, you're trying to build your business. So we just have to understand the purpose for getting subscribers is to turn them into customers, however that works for you. And you can test it. So Gina's saying, this works for me. So if it works for you, then you do that. And so that's the point. You can try different things as well. You can, and see what works best. Okay, let's see if we have anything else here in terms of comments. I thought that Rob kind of had a thing about not making an offer for 30 days or something like that.
He does. He recommends that. And so, he actually kind of has his set up so that you're getting these nurture emails. for, at least the first month, and you're not really making an offer until you've put money into that relationship business account, he calls it. So yeah, I mean, I somewhat follow that. So I'm not really hard selling them into anything, but I do give them the link to talk to me in case they want to.
Right.
Because sometimes people they don't even want to get all that information.
I think that's pretty unique with Rob, but he is also, although he has some products, like he has his automated webinar product, most of his money is made with services. He has his, 3-day VIP thing and, that kind of thing that he has. And so and they're expensive. So he has these, $7,000 products. And so he needs to build up his bank account a lot in order to sell somebody something for $7,000 right away. His business model is not, I have a lot of inexpensive products. So I think this is a good point. It just depends on your business model and what you're doing. And that makes sense in a way. He kind of puts you I think he offers at the beginning like a free thing in his mastermind. And then you can just kind of get into it. And he, even though he has a cost for it, a lot of the people in it are free. And he just kind of lets you stay in it and, that kind of thing. And so he's giving a lot away. He has a weekly webinar, sometimes with guests that he does, because he wants to really develop a deep relationship with people so that he can sell expensive services, basically. So a different business model, absolutely. Okay, we are good. So if there are any questions, so Gail says, wow, brilliant and engaging process. Also love the freebie link to blog. I've linked from one related blog to another inside my site, but linking to a freebie in an autoresponder is awesome sauce. Okay, excellent. Good. So, Senior says, would it depend on the price? I'm not sure exactly what the connection there is, but what you do will depend, as I was just saying, what you do will depend on your business model. So like we were talking about Rob, who has products that are, $5,000 or $7,000, he's going to have a different type of autoresponder sequence than Gina, who's offering, not cheap services, but they're services, and they're not necessarily $7,000, pay me upfront packages like that. People are paying you. Do you charge by the hour, or do you have packages? Right.
I have both.
Yeah.
Okay. So
it
depends on the client, but I usually talk to them and kind of evaluate what they need.
Right. Okay. So, so that's another business model. Some people, have a funnel of different levels of things. I kind of have a funnel of a freebie to a low price product to maybe a higher price product, and then into my membership program. So, that's my funnel. So everybody's going to have something slightly different, and you need to see what works for you. Okay, wonderful. Bye. Thank you so much, Gina. This is really, really helpful. Gave us another perspective, which is really, really valuable. Bye, Jacob. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.